Hi, and welcome to Morning Afterglow. Today we're reflecting on an introductory sermon that I preached last Sunday that gets us ready for Revelation chapters 6 through 16. For many weeks now we'll be walking through the chapter 6 through 16, which covers the seals and the trumpets and the bowls, all of which represent the wrath of God being poured out upon the earth against unsaved people and the ungodly. And yet I thought we would have a time of getting a summation or a review of kind of how those seals, trumpets, and bowls relate to each other. And it's a very interesting study, and it's kind of a scary study too, because we're going to see things like war and famine and pestilence and death. And yet all of this is under the sovereign control of God. When we study the seals, as we will next Sunday morning, we see that Christ is breaking each of these seals. These seals are manifested because Christ opens those doors, opens those seals, and allows those things to happen. As I wanted to reflect on these things with you today, I thought of a couple of things that I wanted to share with you. One is that the Christian faith helps us to realize what truly is happening on earth, even the difficult things that's happening. Even as we're talking today, this world is filled with bloodshed and violence and murder and war and anger and hatred and all sorts of terrible things. People against people, nations against nations. And how do we understand all of that? We can feel a bit overwhelmed by it at times. But it's important to remember that human history, though it has much suffering and sadness and sorrow, is not out of control. Human history is the demonstration of God's activity in and through the human race. And that's something to remember. Keep that in mind. And then, secondly, when we're overwhelmed by these things, it's important to just focus on what you can do in your life. Take what you have, do your job, be responsible to your duties, and do to the best of your ability what God has given you to do. And thirdly, trust in the Lord for both the big stuff and the little stuff, knowing that God is faithful to His people, and He can never be unfaithful to His promise to us. I think these are difficult days. These are days that can cause us to fear. But if we'll remember that everything, large and small, is under God's control, and we need to think about what we need to do and be responsible to what we should be doing, and trust God fully and completely in all things, knowing that in the end it's going to work out fine for His glory and our good, then that will help us to get up each day and face the challenges of each day with a renewed sense of faith and hope and joy and peace. It's been a delight to talk to you today, and I hope whatever you face today, that you're facing it with these truths in mind. And I'll look forward to being with you and talking to you again next time on Morning Afterglow.